Billy with Gilbert Travels here. A little while back, I brought you along to Hawaii and showed you what it's like to visit here during the times of COVID. And today we're going to feature our flight back to the mainland with American Airlines. This is going to be our first time in their premier seat, the Flagship First seat on the 777-300ER. So very excited to give this seat a try. America's flagship product, especially after flying their domestic flagship service on their A321 Transcon. So this is exciting, even though it's not a separate service in this case. It's just going to be the Hawaiian domestic first class service, but it's good to finally get to try these seats out. So let's get inside, check out the airport. So with all of international travel still closed here to Hawaii, everything is basically closed and it's super quiet here in the terminal. So got about an hour till boarding. We'll walk around a little bit, check out the awesome outdoor gardens. That's one beautiful thing about this airport, is it is open air, as you saw there in the gate area and in the terminal check-in area and here at the gates. So very cool. So with flying here in the current state that it is, most every airline lounge, including the American Admirals Club and Japan Airlines Lounge, are closed, but there is this beautiful open air gardens area, and even though the sun is going down already, it's still nice to walk around out here and enjoy the breeze before we head into the concourse and get ready to board this evening's flight on board the 777 with American Airlines.
Hawaii saw a boon in travel with their testing-backed reopening, so there was some nice domestic spotting to do. Unfortunately, our own American 777 was not in a great place to see. Inside the terminal, when I flew, only 2 options were available for prepared food, and only a small number of general catch-all airport stores were open. It was quite eerie walking around what would normally be a cheerful and busy airport with so few fellow passengers. But now it's time to get on board for this overnight service back to the mainland to American's hub at Dallas-Fort Worth. Unlike my inbound A321 flight from Phoenix, this route does score what passes for full onboard service these days with American, so let's check it out. Upon turning left, you will first pass through a small 2-row business class mini cabin with the Sierra seats I've reviewed on this aircraft already. This was also my wife Grace's seat for this flight, and she agreed to film our window footage for this review. Then it was time to enter the also 2-row but much more spacious first class cabin. The only international first class seat product flying with a US carrier and available to the first takers at no additional cost on this route. We'll take a better look at American's best seat once we're up in the air. First, we did have to go back to the gate shortly after pushback to remove cargo as we were overweight for the flight, but then off we went into the dark night sky. Now that we're in the air, let's have a look at today's seat, 1G. One of just 8 seats in this 304-seat airliner. American's Flagship First is not regarded as a world-class top product, but it does have its merits. As you would expect, in front of you there's an entertainment screen, as well as a coat hook and airline literature storage, as well as an ottoman that poignantly doubles as a buddy dining seat with its own seat belt. Center seats do not have functioning overhead bins, but do thankfully include individual air vents. Moving on to the central console, you will find a large deploying tray table, which can be folded out into a massive size to make buddy dining possible. Behind that is the table release, as well as a display angle release for the screen and ambient lighting control. Directly next to you, you'll find another small deployable desk surface, which we'll explore later in the flight. Under this desk is a nice storage area as well. Just above that, you'll find a small touchscreen tablet that controls most of the seat's functions and can be detached with a corded tether to access it more easily in hand. It has individual seat adjustments, including massage, preset seating modes, and the Do Not Disturb button, letting the crew know that you wish to rest. Over your shoulder, you'll find a cubby with various interface ports and universal power, as well as a mirror. Below that is your full-color touch entertainment remote, and next to the seat is a stylish reading lamp. As you can see, the headrest is adjustable as well. The seat itself resembles a plush La-Z-Boy style recliner with large padded armrests flanking each side. As you can see, the seat actually has to pivot slightly inward after takeoff to line up with the ottoman. As I mentioned, the seat has a lovely massage function built in as well, which I highly recommend using. Those armrests can be raised and lowered to assist in getting out of the seat, as well as to make it feel less constrained when you're sleeping. Overall, it's not a very private space to fly by current first class standards, but it's actually one of the better seats for couples to fly together I've seen, and a divider can be raised if you do not know your neighbor in these center seats. Any seat in a row 1 is special though, so let's take a look at what else American had in store for us tonight. Waiting at our seats were American's lovely Bang & Olufsen headphones, a cleaning wipe, and a menu for this flight. I thought it was interesting that the wipes were specifically for the headsets. Does this mean the airlines aren't cleaning them between flights, or is it just for peace of mind? We also received American's International Overnight Duvet and pillow, which I find to be of good quality. You will find that no amenities kits are provided on Hawaii flights, much less pajamas as they offer on international first class, but I brought my own PJs, socks, and slippers to get in the mood to fly. I was helped to get in the proper spirit by a Mai Tai as well, accompanied by packaged pistachios. I eagerly await the return of real glasses, but this wasn't a bad way to cheers to the end of a fun quick getaway to Hawaii. This drink hit the spot quite nicely. It's probably a good thing that these weren't available on my daytime flight to the islands. Also unique to this route was that there's hot meals as well as a printed menu. The menu shows that you'll be getting an appetizer, your choice of 3 mains, a mystery dessert, and a later pre-arrival service. On the back, you'll find a beverage menu, which spends half the page talking about the quality of American's wines on offer, and then directs you to ask a flight attendant for what actual wines they have tonight. Anyway, with my order in, let's get settled, release the entertainment display for optimal viewing, and deploy the table. Under COVID times, everything was served at once together on a single tray and under wraps. I opened everything up, got a glass of uncertain white wine du jour, and took a closer look at my shrimp and grits with a starter of crab salad, served with an ice-cold pretzel roll and a fruit crumble square dessert. Overall here, I must say I found the quality of the food lacking compared to my Transcon Flagship First flight experience a few weeks prior. Grace's pasta meal in particular was very unsightly and inedible, which I didn't find out about until after the flight. Now it was time to open up the bedding, get comfortable, and give you a quick look at the entertainment system before I head off to sleep. First off, this seat and recline with a plush pillow and massage mode is very comfortable. For once, I was really glad for the tethered remote control, which is an American's best setup with a color touchscreen for all functions, as the entertainment display here is truly out of reach of this seat. American had loaded up some holiday movies, but I had no time for that, so let's put on their lovely 3D flight tracker instead. I found it interesting that no central display monitor was on the bulkhead showing the flight stats, as is so common on these types of aircraft. This plane was equipped with transoceanic Wi-Fi signal, unlike the A321 I flew on my other flight, and for $19 that'd be pretty fair for a route of this length during the day, but this was an overnight flight, so let's get ready for bed instead. I headed up to the quite stylish forward lavatory with a vessel sink and touchless faucet to get changed for bed. I then laid the seat in the flat position and got on in. I have heard some complaints that the seat isn't completely 180 degrees flat, but I didn't personally note this. Again, this is not the most private space in the skies, but for a domestic flight, I was quite pleased. So with no further ado, it was time to hop in bed and get some sleep on this quickly passing red-eye. 4.5 hours later, I woke up and the galley was lit as the crew prepared breakfast. I slept well for the entire oceanic segment of our journey, and we were now back over mainland California with about 2 hours left in the air. It's now time to take advantage of the signature, most unique feature of this seat. As we noted earlier, this is a freestanding seat, and it's capable of pivoting completely towards that flip-out desk base in the console. This creates your own spacious in-air work surface. Yes, it would be better if I had been seated at the windows with a nice view outside, but it's such an interesting and well-executed feature of this seat. I used it to work on editing my Hawaii trip video while I awaited breakfast. After finally experiencing it, I do think this is a very cool feature, worth trying out this seat just to give it a shot. 30 minutes later, breakfast appeared in the form of a fresh fruit plate, ice-cold croissant, and yogurt. Unsurprisingly, for the meal being catered in Hawaii, the fruit was great. The packaged Greek yogurt was a passable choice for a pre-landing meal, and dipping the croissant in coffee actually brought it back to life a little bit. Overall, this was the better meal of the two on this flight, with the ripe local fruit being the star of the show. Then the sun started to awake the day, and I went back to check on Grace slumming in that business class seat. Jokes aside, I really like the business class mini cabin on this plane. It's very private feeling, unlike the massive 11-row main section we sat in before. Between the cabins, you'll find the business class bar, which would normally be equipped with snacks, refreshments, and libations on a long-haul flight, but went unused today. I then had to relent the window views and go back to my center seat for the remainder of the flight. Stay till the end for my closing thoughts. As we come in for landing on today's flight, I want to mention that this is my 50th detailed individual flight review for the channel, as well as some other fun videos sprinkled in along the way, and I'm very grateful that I'm just about to pass 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate all of my viewers, and especially those of you who've been watching since the early days, and I hope to be celebrating 100 flight reviews with you, and many more to come.
Okay, so what did I think of that service and that seat last night? Service was obviously a big improvement over my flight out on the A321neo. Had a really great time last night. A good meal, quickly served, plenty of time to get some sleep in, and then a nice breakfast to wake up. Seat-wise, I do think that's probably now my favorite American Airlines seat. Definitely, if you could be in it for a daytime long-haul flight with the window and be able to set up your office there and just look out those 3 nice windows, that'd be a beautiful setup. Nighttime, not as big of an advantage over the business class seat, but some of the things like the buddy dining are really nice, really unique about that seat. So I do like it quite a lot, and was glad to finally be on the penultimate product of American Airlines and to bring you along. So I hope you enjoyed coming along as well, and we will see you on the next flight.
In the meantime, please remember to like, comment, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be made aware first when more content is available. As always, thanks for watching.